Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. Welcome to the infotainment demo on the 2022 Cadillac XT4. This should apply to a pretty wide range of XT4s with this style infotainment system. This has been around for a few years now, and until some sort of new system makes its way into a refreshed XT4, this should kind of all apply. Today's video, we're going to poke around and sort of see how to use the basics of the infotainment screen. And if you do want to see more on the car, check the links in the description. We've got a DM review, a test of the Bose audio system, as well as a highway fuel economy test. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. Kind of a subcompact, compact borderline here for Cadillac in the XT4. Provided here with a 2-liter turbocharged engine and all-wheel drive. A lot of people are going to be appreciating that all-wheel drive aspect. Nice white paint as well. 350T, meaning, of course, 350 Newton meters of torque. Didn't you all know that? It hasn't been the most spectacular vehicle to have around, but it certainly has its merits. In here in the cabin, you have a fairly straightforward gauge cluster, 2 analog gauges for tach and speedo, and then a simple information screen in the middle. You can have your media, some information giving you digital speed, fuel economy, trip 1, trip 2, fuel range, oil life, tire pressure monitoring, nice to have that, more fuel economy. You can add some pages in there if there's anything you want, air filter life, for example, average speed, or you can take things out and simplify your screen. On top of that, you can get some navigational info, phone calls, and change some settings. All pretty straightforward, but I do appreciate how your digital speed, your clock, stay up there on the top of the screen. Then coming in here into the middle, this is your infotainment display. It's fairly simple, both in how it looks and how it works, but I will say I like the simplicity of it. Yeah, it might not be as flashy as some of the other luxury vehicles, but I like how it works, and I think you probably will as well. In this home screen, you've got a menu for your climate up top, your media down here, little phone call screen, and you can swipe through on this main screen if you see how quickly it responds. It's right immediate with my finger, very sensitive, very reactive, and a high refresh rate as well. Definitely like that. And obviously some navigation on the right side. You could tap and zoom that. It's nice to sort of see everything in one home screen. Then you start with your apps. Let's go in the top left for audio. Again, very quick load times. Right now I'm on my USB screen from the sound test, but I could turn the volume down and go over to Sirius XM. All your Sirius XM channels. You can toggle through by channel like that. See what channel is what. That's pretty nice in the lineup. Or this is probably going to go, this is actually going to toggle back and forth through the station that you're actually listening to. So you could pause. It's nice having a pause function for Sirius XM. That way, if you want to take a phone call or have a quick conversation, but not miss a song on the radio, you can actually pause it and it'll store it there for a little while. That is nice. Some sound settings. If you want to see a little bit more on that, check the links in the description for our sound system review. Let's go back home and then over to phone. Right now I have my iPhone connected, so it immediately went to Apple CarPlay. It doesn't look like there's a way to bring up phone without going to CarPlay, but we're going to get to CarPlay and Android Auto here in a little bit. So let's continue on to navigation. This is the built-in Cadillac navigation screen. It looks pretty good. I'm seeing live traffic updates around. You can see a few road closures. Green meaning traffic is flowing nicely here at 9:45 in the morning. Again, good refresh rate. Good move around. Can you pinch to zoom? Yes, you can. That's really quite nice. I would have it turned to 3D heading up like so. That way, if it were driving around on me, I'd kind of see what's coming up. That looks good. Works nicely. Over to Wi-Fi hotspot. You do have a configurable 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot here in the Cadillac, as you'd get with many GM vehicles. You can change your Wi-Fi name and password. Obviously, you'd have to pay for that after a certain amount of time to keep that active in your car, but some people are going to really appreciate that feature. Users, you can actually customize the car for different drivers, and it can link up with the key, and then when you get in, you'd have your music favorites and probably, hopefully, even seat settings, that sort of thing, backed up and customized. So say, for example, if you have a partner who drives the car, then when he or she gets in it, then it would automatically adapt to them. It's kind of a hidden feature for a lot of people, but very useful for owners. Digging into the settings, nothing too surprising in here. Pretty straightforward, time and date. Like I said, it's not a complex system, not a very revolutionary system, but for day-to-day use, I've really appreciated it. You can also do some climate controlling in here. So if we turn that on, then fortunately there's physical controls for all of them down here as well. but technically you could do stuff in the touchscreen if for some reason you wanted to. Continuing on, you have some built-in applications, and GM and Cadillac could provide more apps to you if you wanted. You get things like Amazon Alexa, Spotify built in. Some people are really going to appreciate that. Some audiobook apps, iHeartRadio, Pandora. Wow, there's a lot of good streaming services in here built right in. Fox Sports, NPR One. So if you don't want to have to go through your phone, you want those built right in. Some people are really going to appreciate having that. Back. I should also point out you can control this screen here using this rotary knob as well. So you've got kind of a scrolling and then a toggle up and down functionality, and your volume knob is down there also. OnStar services, that's going to allow you to get turn-by-turn directions via voice and call if you have questions about your vehicle or any issues with it. Camera. There is your backup camera, and this vehicle is also equipped with a 360-degree view camera. A little bit of a wordful there, so you can see everything around you. This curb along the side, same as that curb right there. You can have lines that turn with the wheel as you back up. Zoom in and out, see if you're coming up to a curb. That's a really nice feature. Definitely, if I'm paying this sort of money, I want to have a 360 camera regardless of the size of vehicle. My Cadillac, it's going to give you a little bit more information about maintenance on the vehicle. If you have a flat tire, you can go in there. If you want to access your owner's manual without getting into the glove box, you can get that. That's pretty nice to have. And that is it. So let's head on over to Apple CarPlay. I've got my phone wirelessly connected right now. CarPlay, you can see we're on the phone screen, but let's go home. Looking nice, taking up the whole screen. Again, really responsive. Not the highest refresh rate for CarPlay, but a good resolution and obviously very good functionality. Let's go to Google Maps. Coming up very well. Move it around. Don't have the pinch to zoom functionality, unfortunately. So if you want to zoom, you got to click this. Just rely on tapping. YouTube Music. Again, looking pretty decent. Just play something. You can see the now playing screen. Yep. And then let's go over to settings. And there you are. Okay, how about Android Auto? There we are. Android Auto coming up. Again, taking up the whole screen. No sort of home screen aspect of Android Auto. You just have your apps. Let's start again with Google Maps. There we are. Looking very similar. But you do have pinch to zoom with Android, so that's interesting. Hop on over to YouTube Music. Maybe. There we are. Again, looking a little different in Android Auto, but similar functionality. I can click on here, grab a song once it loads up. There we go. That's your music playing screen right away. It's a nice dark view to everything. And what else do we have? Let's go over to settings. So there you have it. The Cadillac infotainment system here in the 2022 XT4. Like I said, not the flashiest, not the most feature-filled, but really straightforward and honestly, I think a really good system at this price point and for this type of vehicle. Thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the XT4, check the links in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.